Okay.
So, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, why don't you just give some brief introduction?
So definitely, I would like to say that I was actually working as a DevOps engineer with the Western Digital in the San Jose in the California. And my main roles and responsibilities included, but not limited to, writing the various kinds of Ansible playbooks and the chef cookbooks, and then automating the various kinds of DevOps delivery pipelines in the Jenkins by using the various kinds of Jenkins file-based groovy pipeline, which I was actually using on the custom environments, and also working on the continuous deployment pipelines using the automation of the tasks and managing the local deployments in Kubernetes, and creating the clusters and deploying the application containers, and then also creating the Docker containers for internal services, and also responsible for managing Red Hat as well as Linux servers on Ubuntu using the Yum and the RPM package managers. And I was also responsible for creating the various kinds of virtual private cloud as well as the Amazon machine images, and using them for the custom integrations on the real-time target machines. And apart from that, availability of the application architecture and security parameters in this case, and performing the S3 bucket, and also implementing and maintaining the monitoring of the alerting of the production in this case, and implementing the Terraform modules for deployment of various applications across Amazon, and writing various kinds of templates as infrastructure as code, and involved in designing and deploying the Amazon multitude applications, and utilizing almost all the Amazon stack, and focusing on the high availability and fault tolerance and auto scaling in the Amazon CloudFormation, and configuring the AWS IAM and security group for the application. And apart from that, using the various kinds of public and private subnets in this case, and building the Amazon infrastructure on various resources, and writing the deployment scripts using shell scripts as well as the Python scripts, and also building the various servers and importing the volumes, and launching the Elastic Compute Cloud as well as the security groups in this case for the load balancers in the defined virtual private connection, and using the AWS Beanstalk for deploying scaling applications in this case for the custom environments on the real-time target machine. So this is what I was actually working on in the real-time target deployments, I would like to say.
Security groups in the load balancer and virtual private cloud, and we are also using the database Beanstalk for scaling the application in the customer.
So what is your major strength? Like you talked about.
So basically, my major strength would be Amazon Web Services and almost 15 of the Amazon tools and technologies. So I would say definitely the Amazon Web Services is something which is my major core compatibilities, I would like to say in this case, which I was actually working on.
Services, and also using the 15 of the Amazon tools, and I would like to say Amazon is something where I'm very much comfortable with that.
Okay. Have you worked on any high traffic web application?
Yes, I was actually working on the high traffic web application, and then trying to scale that up on the cloud environment. So definitely I was actually trying to scale it up on the cloud environments and trying to run that on the cloud environments, and also responsible for using the CloudFront content delivery network for the application, and apart from that also responsible for deploying those on the cloud environments and scaling up the containers on the real-time environments, and apart from that also responsible for how we can make sure that these are working fine and there is no downtime on the application environments, and then doing the continuous delivery and deployment on the application environments, and trying to use them on the application servers, and also make sure that we have the auto scaling groups as well as the load balancers in this case for the custom environments. And this is what I was actually working on, and trying to utilize it on the custom environments.
And deployment of the application, and trying to use them on the application servers. I was also using the auto scaling groups as well as the load balancer in this case.
Let me interrupt you here. Let us take one.
Excuse me.
So basically, I was actually using the various kinds of instances inside the.
Yes.
You would have probably got a web application traffic, below which you would have got a lot of instances supporting those web applications, right?
Yes.
How did you do the instances automatically log into Splunk? How did you do
So
that?
basically, I was actually
Or
letting the
can I
instances
just
automatically log into the Splunk by
So
using the
basically,
Splunk
I
Universal
was
Log
letting the
Forwarder, which
instances
would actually help us
automatically
to
log
forward the
into
logs
this by
from
using
the
the
remote
universal
servers to the
log
centralized environment. So definitely,
watch,
the
and we were so
Splunk Universal Log
I could
Forwarder
also
was
use
able
the
to send us and send the
let's
traffic
say
from the
that
remote environment
log
to the central
forwarding from the
servers,
remote servers
and then
and
use it on
to
the
the
various kinds
centralized
of environments,
environment.
I would like to
So
say. So
we
this
should
is one of the things
definitely
which I
use
was
the
actually using on the
universal log
custom
forwarder and
environments,
was
and
able to
the log
send the
forwarder
traffic
was
from
kind
the
of
remote
sending the traffic
environment
in
to the
this
central
case
server,
for the
and
custom
then use
environments,
it
and
on the
trying to
various
use it
kinds of
on the custom
environments. Like I would
environments,
like
and then
to
use
say
it
that
on the
this is
real-time
one of
target
the things which
machines.
you would like to schedule and the custom environment and log what kind of traffic based upon that we can use on the custom environments and try to use it across the custom environments.
Got it. Okay. So let me ask you, let me switch the topic to security. You said security patches you have done. What did you exactly do? What does training
So
mean?
basically, coming to the various kinds of security patches, I would like to say
So
that I was
basically
actually
coming to
creating
the
the
various
various
kind
kinds
of
of identity and
security
access
patch
management
levels,
rules,
I would
which
like
were
to say I
created in
was
this case,
actually
and
creating the
I was
various
also
kinds of
responsible for
identity access
creating custom
management rules
policies in this
which are
case,
created in
which
this
would
case,
help
and
us.
also
And apart
responsible
from
for
that, I was
creating the
also
custom
working on
policies
the
in
Active
this case.
Directory integration
And
in this case, which was
we are
being
also
done
using,
for
apart
our
from that, we
environment.
are
And
also
apart from that,
working
I
on
was
the
also
Active
working
Directory
on
integration in this
how
case,
we
and I
can,
was also being
create the
done on
Linux hardening as well as the
one for
patch
our
management of the Linux
environment.
kernel in
Apart
this
from that, I
case.
was also working on how we can create the Linux machine as well as patch management and Linux kernel in this case. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. So in IAM policy, you have specifically related service accounts. Yeah, do you know?
So definitely you have the service
Yes.
account in the AWS
What
IAM,
is the
which
use
are
of
actually
service
used for
account?
the
So
service
definitely,
account in this case. So
so
basically in this case,
the
in
service
the
accounts
AWS IAM,
is
you can
something
actually use
which
the
we
service
actually
accounts for
use
the
for the.
application, and then you can
So
actually go ahead and utilize
basically,
the
we
service
can
account
place.
as an associated credential. So
I
basically
would
the
say that
service account is actually going to
connecting
help us
using the
in
service account
connecting
for
the
the
various kinds
application,
of
and then we are
services, and
actually
this
go
is
ahead
typically
and
referred to as
doing
something which is
the various
associated to a user,
kind of service
and
accounts
then the
are
service account is
associated with
actually created
credentials.
for
So
the
basically,
third-party
service account
environments,
that
and
would
then
help
you will
us
be
to
actually
connect
using it
devices and
for the
services
friendly name of the user, which
typically
is
referred to
actually
as
going to be
something
utilized
as
on the custom
associated to a
environments, and
user.
then you can associate this with the
And then the service.
real-time target.
Why can't you use user ID and password? Like example, I
So
wanted to
basically,
connect
in this
from
case, the service
application
account will
to
actually help you to use
another
that in this
integration
case.
component.
So
Why can't I
basically,
use user
identity
ID
and access
password?
management user is a
Why
resource.
I
That
have to use service
identity has
account?
So
credentials and
basically, in
permissions.
this
So the
case,
IAM
that the
user can
service account
represent a
will
person.
actually help us
So
to use that
basically,
in this. So
this can
basically,
be
identity
used if you
access
choose to use
management
the
uses
long-term
a
credentials
resource
of the
that
user and do not embed the access
have
keys directly into the application code. So you
deductions
can
of
just use the
information.
service account
So
in this
if a
case, or the
user can
application level
represent a
integrations, I would
person,
like
so
to say, and
basically
then
this can be
that is how we
used
can
if
actually
you choose
specify
to a
this.
long-term tension of a user, and without any access key or directly into a. So basically, the application can. So let's say the application integration level like 1 to 7, and we can actually specify the integration level using the service accounts and use that.
Okay. So in Amazon, you know about P and key, right? You know PEM keys, right?
Yeah.
What if I lose the PEM key?
So basically, if you
How
lose
do
the
you
PEM
connect to
key,
the
you can actually
instance?
go
How do
ahead
you
and
get access to
mount
it?
that volume specifically
So
to another
basically, if you
instance
lose
and
the
then lose
PEM
that
key, you
and
can
use
actually
that
go
key in
ahead
this
and
case. So basically,
that you
that can be
can
done by
know
mounting
the
that
volume
volume and multiple
specifically to
environments, and
that
then
another
specifically
instance.
using that on the
So basically, then
real-time
once you
machines,
lose
and
that, and you can use
definitely this can help you to do the
basically you
various
can
kinds of
mount that volume
integrations on
onto
the
a
custom
different
environments, and
environment
then the
and
mounting
use
can
that
be done, I would like to say.
data. So
okay, so what do you mean to say that you have to build a new environment, allocate that volume to that?
yes.
So definitely you can
You
actually use that
you will
specific
generate a
volume and
new
then
PEM
use
key,
it
or
for the custom
what
integrations, I
you
would like to say, and then
So
after
definitely, I
that you
would
can
say that
actually
I will
re-add that
specify the
specific key to
volumes
the
and I
machine. So
would generate a
basically
new
once the
PEM key
key is
also.
added to that volume,
okay, got it.
you can.
Is there any other mechanism by which without PEM key
So we can
we can
actually
have
do
access?
that by
For example, we can
creating an
come by
Amazon machine
authentication by
image of that
force.
specific
So
machine
how
and
many
then
PEM keys I can keep
relaunching
it,
that specific
correct?
machine, I would like to
Because
say in this case.
there must be
So we
some
can
instances
relaunch the
running,
machine on the
and so
target
I need to have
environments, and that
1,000
is one
PEM
of the things
keys
which can
and
really
use
help
those
you a
PEM
lot
keys to
on
developers to
managing the
access.
key, I would like to say.
So basically, what we can do is we can create an Amazon machine image of that specific machine and relaunch that specific image. I would like to say in this case. So we can also use the machine on the target image, and we can also have the. We can also
And then once
manage.
that
We
is
can
done, we can
use
actually try to
multiple
manage
firm.
this PEM file in this case,
So
and
I
the
would like to say
pom.xml
what
file
we
which
can
will be
do is
actually
that we
utilized on
can
the
actually actually
real-time
try to
target
manage
machines and
this
utilize it on
file,
the
and
custom
in the
deployment, the integrations
pom.xml,
on the
we can
pom.xml file, I would
what
like
we
to
can
say.
do is that we can use the same perm key for a specific group of instances and store them into a specific location for a backup strategy.
So, yeah, I kind of agree, but my question is, is there any other mechanism by which, say, I have got thousands and thousands of instances? Okay, if you look at
so in this case, we can actually create Amazon,
and I've got 100 to 200 developers across worldwide. And do they need to have 10 keys with them?
No, we can actually integrate it with something like Active Directory or something like that, which can help us to do the centralized login and management. So we can do the centralized log management as well as the centralized management of the various kind of things in this case. So we don't have to worry about each and every user's access key and the login mechanism. So that is like an old way of doing things. So you can just use a centralized authentication mechanism, which can be utilized in this case.
Through this login mechanism.
Okay. So comes to bucket and disk, because we predominantly use Google Cloud.
Okay.
I know you are mainly into AWS, but cloud is a cloud. In fact, AWS is much more advanced than Google Cloud, so that's not a problem. But predominantly, everybody uses disk or bucket or things like that. So what is the difference between, in this case, in the cloud? What is called a disk and what is called
so basically the disk is something which will be like a elastic block store volume, or it is something like a block storage which is going to be mounted on a specific instance. And then the bucket is something which is going to be like object storage, which is going to let you only store objects, and that is one of the major differences between the object and the block storage, I would like to say. And then you can actually utilize that on the custom environments, I would like to say, on the real-time target machine. So this is one of the major differences in this case for the application, and you can actually have the block storage which can be integrated on the target environments. And then you can actually have the S3 bucket which will be integrated on the target environments, and then that can be utilized on the real-time environments, I would like to say.
1 to 7 and then connect. We can connect to a custom environment, I would like to say. And apart from that, we can we can use the S3 bucket which will be integrated on the target environment, so that we can utilize in the real-time environment to store the logs. Yeah, or we can take a periodic backup into a bucket, and this are something which we mount to a specific instances.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I see that you worked on NGINX, and then Apache, and then Tomcat. Where do I use what?
So basically, you are asking can you please repeat?
You have mentioned that you have Apache, and you have a NGINX, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tomcat and Apache is pretty much same, both are web server.
Mm-hmm.
When do I have to use Apache? When do I have to use NGINX?
So basically, I would like to say that Apache is like a normal web server, but then it does not scale to high levels of scalability. So I would say that Nginx is actually going to be something which will be like a highly available and scalable cluster. So Nginx is actually able to serve a lot more requests in this case, and then it actually can help you to serve a lot of requests for the custom environments, I would like to say. So basically,
and scalable engine can be used to save a lot of requests in this case, and this can be.
So basically, this can have and save a lot of capacity from the custom environment, and you can actually go ahead and try to integrate that with the custom environment. And apart from that, you can scale up the integrations and also serve a lot more requests with the same infrastructure on the cloud environments, I would like to say. So that is one of the major advantages of the Nginx, which is going to be used in this case on the real-time target machines.
Scale the integrations, and you can a lot of more requests in this case using the same infrastructure.
Okay. So Manoj, to Winston here, you have any idea about what you are looking for right now?
I think I got through the JD, but if you can tell me more, that would be great.
They are looking for someone on the
I know
cloud
about the job
so
description, but if you can tell me more, that would be great and would enlighten me.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, the team here actually, right now we got so since we were looking for a DevOps engineer, we call it actually, and we work very closely with the application team.
Okay.
And there are like environment automation we're building through Terraform.
Okay.
And using that, we want to build the environment, and somebody has to maintain the environment. So automation is kind of like the very important thing here at Coles actually. So
okay.
So how much of your effort you spend on automation versus?
So I think I always spent 50% of the effort on the automation, and I was actually the one who was totally doing the automation on the real-time target machines. And I was also responsible for trying to do the automation on the custom environments and trying to get the approvals of the various stakeholders. And I was also responsible for creating the chef cookbook as well as the Ansible playbooks and trying to deploy those in the real-time environments and also get the approvals of the various stakeholders and then also do the rollback as well as the rolling updates of the application.
Environment. And we are so basically we need to get approval from the various stakeholders, then do the rollbacks also based upon the issues whatever we get, all those through automated process based upon them.
So right now, let's say that like you're working with an application team and they're coming and saying that I need a new environment for for this application, okay? And we need to automate it now. So what are some of the things that you will be asking them, and how would you go about?
So basically, I will
doing this automation.
So basically, I will actually go ahead and first of all ask them about the application and the type of application which is available. So if it is a Java application, I will try to set up some of the Tomcat servers, and then I will also go ahead and try to understand how the application is working in the production environments. And apart from that, I will have to also look at what kind of application requirements are there. So I will have to understand how the application behaves in production and how this is really kind of working well. And then apart from that, we have to also understand how the whole thing is totally integrated with the custom environments, I would like to say.
This can be and
then go ahead and try to actually start provisioning the infrastructure using the CloudFormation templates as well as the Terraforms, and then deploying those to the target environments, I would like to say in this case, and run them on the custom release management of the application environments.
Let's say the infrastructure and the template, let's say how do they, what do you call so what kind of in the custom environment, what kind of infrastructure they need? They want to test it on for the high availability, or what kind of testing they want to do, or for what is the purpose, and based upon that we'll be doing the releases to the custom environment, and we'll be building based on using the.
And then finally we will try to do a continuous integration and deployment pipeline on the.
So I assume that there's no application right now. You said that you want to go to production and understand application, right?
So basically we will analyze the application which is currently there on the cloud, and then apart from that we'll also have to understand how the current application is behaving in terms of the real-time target machines, and then analyze the performance and then migrate it to the cloud level environments, I would like to say. So we will have to definitely migrate it to the cloud level environments and understand how the cloud level integrations are actually done on the real-time environments, and apart from that also understand how the applications are created and delivered. So we will have to understand the top quality environments in this case and get the approvals of the various stakeholders, I would like to say.
What are the things which will be there? What are the things that you'll be thinking about when you deliver this environment? So when you deliver this environment, right, you are actually giving.
So basically, I would like to say that when we are delivering,
you're giving it all the way to QA and release and stress and production. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say it's a kind of a brand new thing, right? And let's say you are like going to create the top quality cloud native environment. Okay.
Okay.
So what does it mean to you when we say it's a cloud native? How would you actually design and build? What are the things you'll be asking me?
So basically, I will be first of all designing the infrastructure, I would like to say. So that is the first thing in this case. And then after that, once the infrastructure is designed, the next step would be to go ahead and do the various kind of things inside that, like the design of the application servers in this case, and use those application servers for the custom environments. And apart from that, also understand how the whole thing is actually behaving in terms of the application deployments on the target machines, and then how we will be using the Jenkins file-based Groovy pipeline for the application application integrations, I would like to say, and then get the approvals of the various stakeholders. So definitely this is how we are actually trying to upgrade the whole cluster on the target environments, and then do the various kinds of design of the application environments, and then also make sure that this is integrated with the Jenkins file-based groovy pipeline, I would like to say in this case, and then get the approvals of the various stakeholders, I would like to say, and then also work on how this can be kind of done on the real-time environments, I would like to say, and then get the stakeholders involved in this case so that there is no problems on the real-time target machines, and that's how we will be actually having the custom integrations handled.
Once it is so basically, once we completed the POC and sandbox, then we'll go for a various kind of stakeholders approvals to this, and then definitely we'll try to upgrade to the environment to the various kinds of.
And then we will also write some of the custom scripting in this case,
make sure that
which will help us to script the whole thing in a proper way, so that we don't have to worry about any of that. And then the scripting is actually handled by the team members, so that they can deliver the day-to-day goods for the application environments, and then we can actually have the testing done,
see how
and
we are having this custom
the real time can be actually invoked on the target machines, and
write some of the custom scripts,
also invoking that on the custom environment scripts, and deploying those and releasing them on the automated processes, I would like to say.
Go ahead and we can deliver the application based upon that, and once the testing is done, everything is done, so we can invoke the custom environment and then deploy it to the. Then basically we can do similar kind of things, and we can provision the high availability environment based on the application and availability and requirement.
Okay. So now you talk about high availability and things like that, right? How do you design this high availability?
So basically, I would like to say that we will be actually designing the high availability environments by using the multiple availability zones, and then apart from that also using the multiple regions, and then routing the traffic across the availability zones by using the Route 53 for DNS and the simple emailing service, and also trying to make sure that we are decoupling the microservices, and also using the multi-master available regions and availability zones in this case, which will help us to integrate this on the multiple environments, and also do some of the custom integrations as well as the build and release integration environments on the servers.
The multi-master availability region and in the availability zones, and we'll also integrate the multiple environments also. So we do custom integration for this type of activities to do the integration. Yeah.
So now let's say that your application is very highly secure, right? How do you kind of design for security actually?
So basically, I would like to say that we will actually design the security of the application by using the various kind of SSL certificates, and then these SSL certificates are actually going to be used for integrating with the remote third-party API with the AngularJS, and then also using the custom integration for the over-to-air communication for the satellite level links, which are actually going to be used in this case, and then also having the various kinds of encryption and the SSL certificates which are specified to the
for that, and we'll actually go ahead and use in this case. These are the some we'll be using, and encryption is one of the key things we'll be using. Yeah.
Encryption of what?
So the traffic.
So basically, we will encrypt the traffic which will be coming from the source machine, and then apart from that, we will also try to encrypt the traffic in the real-time target machines, and then apart from that, also using it in terms of.
How do you deal with that?
So basically, I will be actually writing the various kinds of Ansible playbook as well as the Chef cookbook for the automation as well as the orchestration, and then also responsible for using those playbooks as integrated environments, I would like to say, and apart from that, also working on the creation of the Puppet modules, and then manage the infrastructure on the target machines and release them on the custom environments and try to do that.
Using this and the target machines. Yeah, basically we'll use it for provisioning the infrastructure, all those kind of stuff. Yeah.
So will that make it cloud native based on what you're saying right now?
So basically, I would like to say that we can actually make it cloud native by using the various kinds of things inside that. Like we can actually do the deployments on the cloud by using the Jenkins integration, and then the whole pipeline can actually become cloud native in terms of application level integration has to be done also, I would like to say. And then this is like the application management of the integration environments.
Cloud by using the Jenkins integration and then the whole pipeline. And we can also do some cloud native in terms of application, and that can also be done, I would like to say.
Have you had any experience in terms of microservices?
Yes, I have got good experience in the microservices, and I was also using these microservices for the custom integrations
So I
and
have
for
a very good
the
experience with the
deployment and the
microservices.
scaling
I
of
was also
microservices
using
on the custom
the
environments, I would
custom
like to say,
integration
and
for
then
the
also make sure that
deployment of the
the
microservices
microservices are having the service
on the
discovery layer in this case, which are used.
So why do I need to go and why do I need to go to the microservice architecture?
So basically, in the microservices architecture, it
So,
provides you high
so
availability as
basically
well
in
as
the
the high
monolithic
resilience and
architecture,
tolerance in this case. And
if
apart
we
from
want
that,
to scale the
also
application
scale up
into
the
a
application on the target
single
environments and try to
node,
also
right?
add more
So
containers on top
coming to
of
the
that.
Microsoft architecture, it provides like a high availability as well as high resilience on the application. So we can, and we have high tolerance on these applications. And in this case, apart from that, scaling of the application is also very comfortable using we can add more containers on the Docker, and we can scale the application based upon the requirement. We can keep the health checks on the cloud monitor, and based upon that, we can provision the Docker instances, and we can accommodate based upon the traffic, and we can scale the application. Yeah.
So when you say microservice, right? Let's say you have multiple components in your microservice, right?
Yes.
And I'm telling you that I'll be constantly making changes to production, and I don't want any downtime for my users.
Okay.
How do you?
Okay.
So basically, if you don't want to have any downtime, you can actually do a rolling update to the existing cluster using the Kubernetes command line interface. So this way, you will be actually updating the rolling update on the cluster environment, and then you can actually go ahead and deploy the latest version of the artifact to the whole cluster in a rolling way, which can be used on the custom environments.
Apply the latest version in the, and the whole cluster will be provisioned in the rolling way, so that we will not have any downtime to the end users.
So let's say I don't want to deploy everything, but I'm only changing one service in that one.
So basically, if you want to add a scale to a specific service, you can actually make sure that we will be doing a rolling update of the application deployment in this case using the Kubernetes command line interface, so that the rolling update can help us to make sure that the application is not down.
If you want to scale a specific service, you can actually make sure that will be doing a rolling update of the specific application deployment in this case using the Kubernetes command line. So that rolling update.
And then we'll try to debug that on the real-time environments and use that.
And we can also try to use the Docker on the real-time, and using that we can do a rolling update and we can maintain it.
Rolling update. So you do a rolling update of that component, is it? Like of that, if that component has got multiple instances running, you will do a rolling update.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll have multiple versions in that thing. Would that be okay?
No. How it is, right? So basically, I just wanted to repeat your question. So you are asking that we are doing a rolling update, and do we have multiple versions on that specific, or how it is you are asking, right?
Yeah. Correct. So you do a rolling update. So I want to make sure that my whole application doesn't go down.
So basically, in this case, we will do a blue-green deployment. So we will actually do a half-half deployment in this case. So we will try to first of all remove half of the containers from the load balancer and then deploy to those.
So basically, how it
and
is,
then
right?
once
First
that is
we'll
done successfully, we will deploy to the other
half. It will be like a blue-green deployment. In this case, the first will
and then deploy to those and then put them in the load balancer as well. So in this case, the end user will not see a downtime for even 1 second. I would like to say in this case, and that is like a high availability deployment. This is actually done to make sure that the cluster is not down for even 1 second.
These will be back into the load balancer. Then we'll do the second part in the similar manner, to make sure that our clusters are not down even for 1 second. Yeah.
Okay. So how does the rest of the services know how to access the new
So basically, there is a service discovery layer inside the Kubernetes, which is actually going to help us in specifically helping to target the other machines and the other services. So the service discovery layer is actually going to configure in the console for the creation of the service discovery, and then from there, all the API requests are actually taken from the console, which is actually used in this case on the real-time environments, and then we can actually do that on the custom integrations on the third-party servers. So definitely, this is like a custom deployments which happens on the services which are created.
We can specify the API request and actually take out the conversions, and so basically we can use custom integrations using the APIs and on the third party, and we can definitely do this like a deployment which can help us. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about service discovery?
So basically, I would like to say that in the Kubernetes, you have the service discovery, which is actually going to be helping by defining the various services. So basically, this service is actually going to be helping us in the service discovery from the service level, and then we have the various kinds of pod using the DNS-based service discovery, which is actually going to be helping in this case.
What is the product that you have used for service discovery?
So, yeah. So DNS-based service discovery we are using. Yeah.
So basically, in this case, we are trying to use the DNS-based service discovery using the Kubernetes, and we are actually having a namespace which is helping us to.
1, 2, 3, and all three are registered in DNS, and your application is hitting DNS. Okay. And they're saying that I want microservices 1. It goes to microservices 1.
So basically, in this case, we are actually having the hard-coded of all the other services in this case.
Microservices 1 cluster is completely gone. Your IP addresses is still in DNS. Then I'm putting a new one. DNS propagation will take some time. So what happens to application at that time?
So basically, I would like to say that it takes some time to propagate the DNS, but I would like to say that
it takes some time to propagate the DNS.
There will be some add-on DNS service which will be there in the cluster, and then the DNS add-on will actually make sure that the service is available via the fully qualified domain name. So we have an internal DNS which is running in this case, and we are trying to reuse this service discovery process by finding out the internal DNS. So this is not an external DNS, but an internal DNS which is running on the cluster as an add-on, and we don't have any lag in this case because this is totally managed by us, and we have a 0-second time to live for that specific DNS query, which is actually going to be used
on the cluster as an add-on. We don't have any lag in this case because this is totally managed by us, and we have we have specific DNS queries and which are actually going to be used. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. You have a DNS-based service discovery. It's also possible. This part, because service discovery is nothing but identifying the endpoints. That's all. So you are managing it through DNS endpoint. That is fine. But only thing is DNS has a problem where you will have caching and things like that. But what you are saying is you have your own internal DNS.
Yeah.
That means when you have a new version, you'll update the DNS tree to the cluster manager update. Right. Yeah. So because we are doing it now in Akamai, right? We are doing it to origin URL. That is also a service discovery. So, but the storage mesh, service mesh will come only in service discovery. Come tools like Consul. Yeah. So I ask you, like, how do you manage, passwords and things like that for the application? The application needs to connect to database or or some other endpoints, and if it has passwords and all that stuff, right? How do you manage all of that?
So basically, we will have all of this inside the HashiCorp vault, and we will try to pull that from the key value stores like the Amazon Key Management Service, as well as the HashiCorp vault, which is actually going to be used in this case. And then apart from that, we are also going to use some of the key value stores, which are going to help you in this case for the custom integrations and deployments on the multiple servers. And apart from that, we are also using these key value services on the deployment integration and release that on the custom environments. And apart from that, we'll also use some of the key values which are going to be used on the real-time integrations, which will be helping us in pushing those on the custom environments.
Deployment integration and reset on the custom environments. And apart from that, what we'll do is we'll also use some of the key values used in the integration. Yeah.
Okay. So you have used Vault.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. So okay. That is for that. So you are predominantly worked only in Linux environments?
So definitely, I would like to say that I've been working on the microservices environments and utilizing in this case, and then apart from that, I was also responsible for the Nginx environments and utilizing it in this case, and working on the various kinds of stuff in terms of the Windows environments, and working on how we can use the Nginx for the custom deployment.
How do you consider yourself on the Linux actually? Are you comfortable as an admin?
So basically, I'm comfortable both on the admin as well as the development side, I would like to say in this case. So I've also got good experience in the Linux server and deployment integration, I would like to say.
Basically, I have good experience on the Linux servers.
And then both on them, I've been actually working on Windows as well as the Linux servers, I would like to say, and utilizing them on the real-time target.
So imagine your application has got APIs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to give the APIs to the external people to access. What would you do? Have you
So yes. So basically, I've been working on the external APIs, and I've been actually using the external API for the application environment and utilizing them to make sure that the API is actually working on top of that, and using the custom integrations on the third-party environments.
www.westerndigital.com will get you a login page. Okay.
Okay.
But there are certain functionality which your vendor needs. Okay. The vendor does not get login page. They only get URL.
So basically, we will give them a custom subdomain, which will be a REST API, which will be accessible via the Swagger API, and we can actually integrate and pass API headers and the REST API headers in this case, which will be actually utilized on the custom environments, I would like to say. And then that can be actually used on the real-time integrations on the third-party environments, and then we can actually have these kind of integrated to the third-party environments, and we can also get those released on the real-party.
And on the custom environment, let's say, we can be actually used on the real-time integration on the third-party environments. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So, can you elaborate a little bit on your, patching that you do? How do you?
So basically, coming to the patch management, I would like to say that we're actually doing the various kinds of things in the patching, like using the Ansible for the playbooks, I would like to say, and we're trying to also use the Ansible patching in this case on the custom environments. And apart from that, I was also responsible for doing the patching of the Linux kernel, and then trying to upload that on the real-time target machines. And apart from that, also doing the custom integrations in the release management on the multiple servers, and also doing the patch management on the kernel environment, and use this for
changes, and apart from that, I was also doing the custom integration on the release management on the multiple servers, and also doing the patch management on the internal environment. Yeah.
So how specifically you will actually do? Just basically you will have this Ansible scripts will actually do the patching on all the servers, or what?
Yes, the Ansible scripts will help us to do the patch management on all the machines. So basically, we will try to do the patching in terms of Ansible, and then the patching will be done on the real-time target machines. So we will try to patch these on the application environments, and then deploy them on the custom environments, I would like to say. So we will try to patch them in the custom releases of the application, and then we can kind of do the patching of the release integration environments, I would like to say in this case, and then try to release that on the
application based upon the release integration environment. Yeah.
So what specifically, how will you actually go and patch it?
So basically, we will be running the Ansible playbook on the target inventory, and then this is actually going to be having a yum update command, which will be helping us to update the kernel, and then we have a backup. So we also take a backup dump of the kernel. So we also take a kernel dump just for the backup purposes and try to integrate that, I would like to say in this case,
and we'll be using the yum update command, which will be helping us to update the kernel, and then we'll go ahead. We'll have a backup, so we'll take a backup dump of the channels, and then
use the backup dump in this case for the release, and then update the kernel on the target machines, I would like to say in this case, which will be actually utilized on the servers.
And then make sure that the dump in this case for the release, and then update the kernel on the target machine.
So you actually talked about the AIM, right? AMI, is it? I was mentioning images,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do you use that to kind of like?
No, we don't use that. We actually do the real-time patching using the Ansible playbook, I would like to say. So we actually do that by using the real-time playbook on the Ansible and utilize it in this case. So we actually do the patch management and use it for the custom release of the application environment, I would like to say. So we definitely do the patching on the target machines and utilize it in the servers.
Sorry, you are asking something?
Yeah, that only. That's fine. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll actually do the project management and we will use it on the custom.
So we will actually try to patch it using the Ansible playbook, and apart from that, we'll actually try to patch the machines in this case, and apart from that, we'll also try to release that on the previous machine.
And apart from that, we'll also try to release onto the previous machine.
And if there is something wrong, we'll actually try to patch that machine in the real-time environment.
Are you okay with in terms of developing new automation code?
And definitely, I am very much okay with writing the Ansible playbooks from the scratch and also trying to modify the existing ones from the Ansible supermarket, which is one of the very big sources of the playbooks which are available on the internet. And then apart from that, I'm also very much comfortable in patching the releases of the application in the third-party environments and using them in the real-time servers, I would like to say in this case, which could be deployed on the custom environments, I would like to say. So this is something which I was actually working on and utilizing in the real-time target machines and then deploying those in the real-time servers, I would like to say, and then also working on creating new.
Using Terraform. YAML file only, but not Ansible that much.
Okay.
Mainly Terraform tools, packaged through Packer is Packer, and then.
Definitely, I'm very much comfortable.
Pipelines and all are already defined. You would not be working on defining a pipeline as such. Pipelines are already there, applications there. Pretty much, but we are basically migrating some of the functionalities from on-prem to cloud.
Okay.
Mainly Google Cloud, not Amazon Cloud.
Okay.
But automation code would be expected to be modified.
Okay.
For some new rollouts or existing rollout needs to be modified and changed and things like that.
Okay.
You are okay with that, right?
Yeah, I'm very much comfortable with that. Yeah.
Okay. And the job requires Monday through Friday, you have to be on site.
Definitely, I should be on site, and I should not be having a problem in working on the on-site level stuff. I would like to say in this case, and
may I know the team size? How big is the team, and what are the day-to-day activities of the team?
Team size, we do have multiple teams. One deals with the CloudOps, one deals with the DevOps. What we say DevOps and CloudOps means DevOps is day-to-day operational activity, and the CloudOps is more towards the modifying code and things like that. Teams sit across India, Russia, US, put together probably about all together works close to probably about 50 plus or maybe 70 plus.
Okay.
But the environment is a huge environment, very demanding environment, very complex environment.
Okay.
So, and also one last thing is, since we are on some of them are support role across global regions, you are okay to work. Sometimes you need to work with the offshore team, night times and all the time, right?
Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah.
Coordination with them, right? Not complete night out, right? Just coordinate.
You are a human. I'm a human. Everybody has to sleep.
Yeah.
I think mostly we try to manage it, but occasionally.
Yeah, I know it is. That would be like a daily status and a daily coordination call will be there for sure. I suppose daily one time at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, we are looking at 3 different applications that we have. One is the vendor portal, and one we call actually TVS. One we call it K-Link. I mean, these are 3 applications. So we are people who are kind of supporting right now, but we want to kind of make sure that this team is aware of all these different applications.
Okay.
And you can actually back up each other because somebody goes on vacation or whatever.
Okay.
People need to have knowledge about it. So I put to that, we have a CloudOps team which kind of does mostly automation. And, we have another team which is not, basically they do a lot of operational things. So this role is going to be more little bit more, I would say like more of a lead or senior role.
Basically, you like to integrate multiple teams and get a better understanding of the application.
Yeah. And then this person will be kind of like working with our end user, right, with the development here in the US, and they will always come back, say, okay, I need this one, I need that, this issue should be solved and whatnot, and somebody has to understand.
Basically, the infrastructure requirements, and based upon that, we need to coordinate accordingly so that everything is smooth. Yeah.
As far as Terraform experience is concerned, like, how do you rate yourself between 1 being you and 10 being the master of Terraform? How do you rate yourself?
So basically, coming to Terraform, I would rate like around 6.
So I have been writing various kinds of Terraform's modules and utilizing them in the real-time target machines. And I've also been doing migration of existing CloudFormation templates to the Terraform templates, I would like to say in this case, which are actually utilized on the target machines, and then utilizing in the custom machines, I would like to say, and then also working on how these can be deployed on the target environments, I would like to say in this case.
We are dealing with, obviously, GCP. We're using Gerrit for version control, like Git and all that stuff. And then we use Jenkins for pipeline automation. We use Nexus for repository, for the artifacts, and so we use some proprietary tools also for deployment. Actually, that I think is not outside. It's called Konami. And then other technologies that we do within the application, we use Kafka. For messages and all that stuff, and then use the Mongo database, MySQL database. I think sometimes some application may have Redis, caching, and what else, like, we have Console, Zookeeper, Vault, we use Vault, version of Vault.
Understood.
And so all these things are there actually. Are any of these things anything that you are not familiar with?
So basically,
so I think I'm familiar with all of them, and I've been working on pretty much all of these, I would like to say, in my previous.
And I've been working on the day-to-day activities using this kind of applications. And let's say if it is not a similar, it would be a similar kind of application if it is not an exact same application.
Okay.
So your most, let us say, I'll give you an example. In one environment, existing infrastructure may need to be changed to the way how business wants, or they will come back and say, we are shifting this functionality from on-prem to cloud, and we need to build a new solar system. You understand, right? Or we need to build a new MySQL cluster, or we need to build new MongoDB cluster. Sometimes you end up starting from scratch, writing the entire YAML file, or sometimes you can pull it out from Gerrit and modify it. So both is possible. So you need to understand to start from scratch, how you can do it, or you need to modify the existing code as well.
Understood.
You have any questions for us?
No.
I want to know, like, what is the team size and what is the day-to-day activities and what is the next steps?
From here.
Do you have any questions, more?
Any question, more questions? How will you use the database now? So somebody comes and says, my data is corrupted, right? How will you use that?
So basically,
I want to work on the MySQL as the Postgres database, I would like to say, and also working on the Postgres database as well as the Oracle database, which I was actually working on, and then utilizing it on the real-time target machines, and then deploying those on the environments, I would like to say, and then working on the database creations, and also working on how we can scale up the databases on the target.
Are you in town? Right now you're not here local, right?
No, I am in Phoenix, Arizona right now.
You're in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. But you finished your project here?
Yeah, I finished my project,
So you're available as soon as possible?
Yes.
And got it. So what I would say, I think Manish we probably have to have one more interview with another senior infrastructure person.
Okay.
And we'll schedule that one. And then we'll try to figure out our onboarding process actually.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I mean, like, how much notice do you need, like, to come aboard?
Like 1 week or 1.5 weeks should do, once everything is confirmed, yeah.
Okay, 1.5 weeks. 1.5 weeks, I think. Yeah, for us also, we need some onboarding. So right now, are you doing anything right now? Are you...
No, as of now, nothing in pipeline. I have like first round interviews, couple of first round interviews, but not final interviews. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so okay.
Okay.
Also, do you have any questions for us right now?
No, that's it. I think I asked it. Sufficient. Means you explained it to me very clearly, and I asked my questions. Yeah, that is good.
Okay, thank you. So just wanted to let you know, the environment here is like, fairly, I would say, demanding. Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay.
And you need to be, I mean, GCP, right? How much time would you take to come out to on GCP?
So basically, how it is, right? If you know the basically, if you know a cloud, it is similar kind of process, right? If we can go over the documentation, and it will be fairly straightforward, I suppose. Means it is similar kind of approach.
Yeah, go ahead.
It will be like a similar kind, but based upon the requirement and based upon that, we can do a day-to-day activity. And if I see for a couple of hours a day, I would say like around 1 week should do. Once if it is confirmed, I would do my homework beforehand.
Yeah. So I would say you should work to look at GCP. Start to get up to speed on that, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, this is a contract position, right?
Yes.
You're looking for contract or full time, or what are you looking for?
Right now, I'm looking for contract, but later point of time, if they are willing to convert, I'm okay to convert also.
So right now, okay, sounds good. Okay, thanks so much, Manoj. Good talking to you. So we will try to get the next person to talk to you.
Okay.
And then we'll, figure out how we can bring you aboard.
Okay, sure.